Hi, Oakley. It's a real pleasure and an honor to have you here and to see you again after, I think, 1 year. Thanks again to be on our YouTube channel. How are you?
Hey, Matthew. Yeah, I'm fantastic. I'm here in Barcelona. I'm still here enjoying the rest of the AC 37. And yeah, I'm good. The last time I saw you, I was working with Malizia, the Imoca 60 team. But in January, I was offered to join Orient Express Racing Team as a rigger and sailmaker. So I started in February, and I joined the team as a rigger and sailmaker.
It's incredible. Yes, I met you as the sailmaker from Team Malizia, and now you're making sails in the Americas Cup. It's seriously
Yeah,
an incredible
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
It's
no.
it's quite amazing how this industry works. It's very everyone kind of knows everyone, so it's very easy to shift around. And once you're in the industry and you work with these professional people, they tend to ask you to come along to different projects. So it was quite nice to join this project, and I actually joined knowing a few other people from the Imoca world who have transferred over to this America's Cup world. So the both worlds of offshore and inshore sailing, they kind of come together.
That's incredible. From foils to foils.
From forwards to forwards, exactly.
So I'm really honored to have you here because you are the best person to talk about one of the most incredible things that happened in this America's Cup. The mainsail of Luna Rossa that got broken a couple of days ago. So what's your perspective? It was something between the condition or something like waiting too much, or it was a human mistake, or what's your perspective?
Mm.
What happened?
Yeah, so day three of the Louis Vuitton Cup final saw both teams head out on the water, and they were met with a strong breeze on the upper end of the wind limit, actually 20 to 23 knots. The wind limit for the racing is 22 knots on average through the course. So both teams were out there ready to race with their small sail area plan. This can be the M3 usually is the small main of choice, and the jibs are a J5 or potentially a J6. Not quite sure. Some teams have a J5, some might have a J6. Um, so yeah, they were out on the course waiting for the wind to drop a little bit to get a race underway. And during this time, Luna Rossa had appeared to sustain damage to their battens. And we don't know exactly how it happened. It wasn't caught on camera, so we can't completely diagnose what happened or why. But we can have some logical explanations on our thoughts and on why it could potentially happen.
Okay, great, great, great. So, um, let's say it can be something between a bit of chance to break the sail, or and something related to boat handling, in fact.
Why it could possibly have happened is mainly down to boat handling or handling error of the boat. Um, these boats have many controls and all on buttons, and the technology. The sails are all controlled by hydraulic rams. So I believe, in my experience, it was down to a handling error.
Okay. So, between all the regulation, in fact, it can be something related to maybe doing a maneuver while not foiling in wind, some sail trimming that was not on point, in fact.
Mm. So yeah, there's a lot of things to think about when performing maneuvers in these boats. Um, you have to have certain settings on the sails within certain parameters. Um, but these boats are designed to sail fast, pretty much all the time,
Yeah.
consistently, um, and that generally means the wind flowing over the sails and the mast and the sails from bow to stern. So when you're sailing upwind on these boats, the wind is flowing from bow to stern. But even when you're sailing downwind on the AC-75s, they're sailing so fast that they're generating their own apparent wind. And so it's possible that Luna Rossa was sailing downwind, down speed, which could mean that there was more wind coming from behind, from the stern to the bow into the sails. And these boats aren't designed to do that. So I think that if this happened and Luna Rossa performed a maneuver down speed, with the sail going from one board to the other, down speed, this can create a massive shock onto the sail and onto the carbon parts that are inside these sails. So which it's not designed to have these to go through a maneuver in this way. So I believe that this is a reason why it could possibly happen, a down speed maneuver, and the shock load onto the battens, which could result in them snapping.
Okay, very interesting. And I imagine that just to try to make a little bit of imagination from my side, that I'm outside this deep knowledge about the matter. I think that the sails, I have a lot of sensors, and the technology on board is very advanced and very informative as well. They didn't have any kind of sensor or alert that could have prevented something like this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it could also, for example, it could also be down to the sail settings which they had. They do have screens which show them the loads and how much sheet they have on the jibs or the mains. And yes, it's possible that there could be a sensor on board that told them that they were didn't have enough of this or enough sheet or enough cunningham tension or whatnot. But I think when sailing down speed in these boats, it's never easy. And it's possible that when sailing down speed and having the sails too eased, this could have a more shape in the sail. So when going from one board to the other, the sail has to go from one shape on one side of wind to the other shape on the other side of the wind, and this motion can create the damage.
Okay, it's very clear that now these boats are really designed to be at the limit and at the limit of their performance. But so when they sail too slow, it's more dangerous than sailing too fast, in fact.
Almost. But no, also these sails used on the AC-75, they're designed for peak performance and optimization of wind flow. Yeah. And they're pushing the boundaries of technology with lightweight materials that have to withhold the forces that are being pushed through them and forced through these sails. The sails on the boats are used within certain settings and parameters, and these sails, they're now controlled with hydraulic rams, which you can actually monitor on these screens in front of them with pressure gauges and load sensors, load cells throughout the boat on the rigging, on the sheets. So yeah, it's also a possibility that Luna Rossa was sailing the boat outside of these set parameters for the sails. For example, if you had too much cunningham load on the mainsail and not enough sheet load on the outhaul, this can unevenly load up the sail and the fibers inside the sail, and also the composite inside the sail. So this sailing a boat like this can also have an impact on why you could sustain damage. I think we've seen in the past with other sailing boats, if you don't spread the load evenly throughout the sail, then it can result in sail damage. So I also believe that this is also a way that damage can occur by not sharing the load evenly throughout the sail.
Okay. there is a thing that made me very curious, your incoming future project about your next step in your sailing career, because you're not only a sailmaker, but you're one of the best sailor I've ever met in my life. So explain me a little bit what's your next step.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's the $1 million question at the moment that everyone's asking is what's next as this campaign is coming to an end. But no, I'm very excited to talk about my next project. My next project, I'm going to be in my own sailing campaign. I'm going to be sailing in the Figaro 3 class in France, with aims to do La Solitaire du Figaro, which is a solo racing series based on the west coast of Europe, of France. So yes, I'm very excited to get back out on the water and get back sailing with my own project underway. My project is going to be linked with ocean health and sustainability. So that's going to be my main motive as well, bringing it along into my campaign and my sailing, creating an impact and a message for the sailing community. But I'm also just looking forward to getting out on the water. Working this year with the America's Cup team has been my sole focus with the shore team and delivering the best result for Orient Express Racing Team. But now my shift is moving to my sailing campaign, and I'm just really excited to get back out on the water and get sailing.
Well, it's a foiling boat as well. They have a kind of foil on those boats.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. I mean, going from one foiling boat to the other at the moment, eh?
from foil to foil, in fact, is like the fil rouge of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Stay loyal to the foil, we say.
Yeah. Well, Oakley, thank you a lot for your time, for your experience, for your knowledge. I think that everything we say today is like information that no one can find around. So really, thank you a lot again.
No worries. Thank you for having me on your channel, and maybe you'll see me again in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I will come to meet you as soon as possible.
For sure. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.